Hello, everybody. What is up? This is Gabby from mythesiscoach.com. And in today's live stream, I want to answer the question, what kind of sources do I use in my thesis writing? Now, you know you're going to be doing tons of reading in your thesis. This might be directly to help you develop your literature review, or it might just be to help you support your methodology. Perhaps you are wanting to create some context in your introduction. Reading is such an integral part of the thesis process. But the question is, where do you find stuff to read that is going to be relevant and helpful for the document which you are trying to write? So in today's video, I want to share with you 5 sources. It's not exhaustive. There are obviously many different kinds of sources that you can read, but let me share with you 5, some of which will hopefully get you thinking about what is going to work best. So first of all, I want to start off with the gold standard. This is the kind of sources that you are ideally wanting to focus on the most in your thesis writing. So this is academic articles. Now, academic articles are articles that come from accredited and trustworthy journals. These are things that you will be able to access through your university databases or databases that your university is subscribed to, or you can find them via Google Scholar. These are proper articles in journals, articles which have been through the peer review process, which means the authors have written them, have submitted them, other academics have commented on them, the authors have improved them. So it goes through a rigorous testing process before it gets published. Because of that rigorous testing process, you can assume that these are high quality articles and that you can trust the information that's in them. And that's why academic articles are kind of the thing that you want to have the most in your reference list. That's what you want to incorporate the most in your writing. And in your thesis writing and your thinking. So those are academic articles. The great thing about academic articles is that they are constantly being published. So you can find through academic databases, you can find very recent and new sources. So you could perhaps look up something and you can change the parameters of the search so that it only draws articles from the last 2 years. Imagine how cool it is to draw on that recent information. So those are academic articles. Next up, of course, we can't discount books. Books are, of course, a repository for a lot of important information around your topic. So definitely go old school, go back to your library, mosey along the shelves and find books that support your argument. But do remember the thing about books is that they can become dated. So it's going to be much easier to find up-to-date, right now, research in your field through an academic article, whereas you won't necessarily get that from a book, which obviously the whole publishing process for those are much slower. However, obviously a book can allow you to delve into content in a much more deep way, and that way books can be great sources too. We've got academic articles, we've got books. Next up, something that I love are conference papers. Now, conferences are a little bit different from journals. Journals are often very theoretical. Journal articles are theoretical. They're very rigorous. They're very serious, so journal articles. Conference papers, people at conferences tend more often to try out ideas. Kind of the stakes are a bit lower for us academics at conferences than they are in journals. So conference papers can sometimes be a little bit more innovative. They might be a smaller study, but kind of something new and interesting that the researcher was just trying out. In terms of academic kind of credos, doesn't give you quite as much. Journal articles always look best. But you can help your understanding very much by engaging with conference papers because you can see up to the minute what people are researching. Hello, Julius. Oh, yay. Thanks for your comment. Please feel free to ask any questions if you want. Thanks, Julius. I'm glad you're finding this empowering. So those are conference papers, up to the minute, innovative and exciting research you can find there. Number 4, let's talk about textbooks. I would be a little bit wary about textbooks. Textbooks often come from one particular perspective. It often comes very much an author will have written that at a particular time within a particular academic system, which is shaped by so many different things. But where textbooks can be really helpful is in giving you a sense of methodology and thinking and general ideas. So by all means, go have a look at those textbooks to get the ideas out. I wouldn't focus too much of those in your reference lists, however. Okay, number 5 I want to talk about is popular media. I think I've got my numbering modeled up. What number are we on? Yes, number 5, popular media. And by popular media, I'm talking about things like news websites, opinion pages. Here in South Africa, we have the Daily Maverick, we've got the Mail and Guardian. We have a great website, actually. If you don't know The Conversation South Africa, if you're in South Africa, or if you're abroad, The Conversation is fantastic because they take academic research and write it in a way that people can engage with and connect with. That's The Conversation. Those kinds of websites are great in terms of telling you what's going on in the public discourse. Like, what are people talking about at the moment? And that can be really helpful in terms of shaping your own understanding and your own debates. So by all means, definitely, people sometimes, my clients ask me, can I actually pull out something from the Daily Maverick? Or is it okay to draw on this news article? The answer is yes, you definitely can, but I wouldn't rely on it. You always want to come back to what I said, number 1, which were those academic arguments. Those academic articles that have been through that rigorous and strict review process. It's a loud car outside. Sorry about that. So those are 5, if I've got my numbering correct, those are 5 different kinds of sources that you can draw on in your research. What not to do? Don't cite Wikipedia in your study. You can definitely, if you're like me, I'm prone to getting sucked into Wikipedia loops. So definitely read Wikipedia to give you an overall general sense of your topic, but that doesn't look great when cited on a reference list because, we can all jump in and change Wikipedia. Always, when you are coming to a source, whichever of these 5 it is, or maybe it's something that's off my list, think to myself, is this a credible source? Is it trustworthy? Is it as unbiased and unneutral? No, is it as unbiased and neutral as something that a human being can create? If so, chances are that that is going to be a useful source or a credible source that you can use in your research. So I hope that this has been interesting. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, mythesiscoach.com. You can like my Facebook page. I'll be sharing many more tips and ideas with you over the coming days. So, have a beautiful day, everyone, and see you next time.